Hi guys, Chris here, back with another video. So today I want to talk about type 1 diabetes. So when I'm online, a lot of the time I'll see, different comments from people who are struggling, or, people who have relatives who are struggling, and it really gets them down. And the thing I just want to sort of talk about today is that it doesn't have to be that way. Type 1 diabetes, yeah, you've got it the rest of your life. When you're diagnosed, you will have it the rest of your life. There's no chance of reversing it. It is the way it is. What I'd say is don't get caught up in all of these sort of rumour mills, or these news articles about supposed cures that are out there. You're wasting your time. What you need to do is you need to focus on what you can do. Now, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 2 years ago. Next month, actually. It's gone pretty quick. Time has flown by, and I have to be honest, I haven't really had many problems at all. It's been fairly easy for me. Now then, I don't want to say that in a callous way, as if to say that as if to sort of disregard your struggles. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that, type 1 diabetes, it doesn't have to be, a death sentence, or it doesn't have to be really hard. It's all about your attitude. You need to have a positive mental attitude. You need to constantly, instead of focusing on the bad things, you need to focus on the good things. You need to have an attitude of gratitude. You need to count your many blessings and name them one by one. Sometimes what can happen is you get so focused on yourself, and then you get down. And what you really need to do is, guys, what I would say is, you need to try and be more positive and look for different things that you can do to improve your condition. So, for example, if you're someone who's type 1 diabetic and not currently on a vegan diet, that's what you need to do. You need to improve, if you want to improve your condition, go vegan. Now then, why do I say that? Well, even though type 1 diabetes, it can never be reversed with anything. It can't be reversed with anything. It can be improved. So how can it be improved? Well, it can be improved through a process called insulin sensitivity. Now then, in normal people, when they induce insulin resistance in themselves through high fat or animal products, their body is able to compensate by just pumping out more insulin. But because you're type 1, you have to inject it yourself. So if you want less highs and less lows, you need consistent blood sugars. You need essentially consistent insulin sensitivity. You want your insulin sensitivity to always be even. You don't want it up or down, because that will throw everything off, and that's when you're going to have a bad time. So what I would say, guys, is, one, go vegan. Why should you go vegan? Because when you go vegan, you're not putting in these different animal products like meat, fish, chicken, eggs, milk and dairy, which induce insulin resistance. How do they cause insulin resistance? Well, all of these different foods are high in fat, and what happens is the fat will literally cover the cell, and what happens is, as a result of that, the insulin cannot bring the sugar into the cell, and then the sugars then rise. So if you're struggling with high blood sugars all the time as a type 1, you need to go vegan. Number 2, even though vegan diets are the best, they're not always as good as they can be. So when you go vegan, which means no animal products of any kind, you want to make sure it's 100% whole food, or pretty close to 100%. So what's the difference between whole food and processed food? Well, processed food is usually a combination of different foods which have been processed and had different things stripped from them and processed in such a way that it's no longer natural, whereas whole food is essentially food that has been left in whole form. So for example, a sweet potato, or a banana, or an apple, or a tomato, etc. And when you eat whole food versus processed, or as opposed to processed, you'll notice your blood sugars will be a lot better and a lot more consistent. Step 3, guys, always eat high carb, low fat. So what do I mean by high carb and low fat? High carb is 80% of calories plus coming from carbohydrates, and low fat, 10% maximum calories coming from fat. I often hear people always throw high carb, low fat around, but they never really put percentages on it, and you need to put percentages on it so you can understand exactly what they mean. Remember, fat causes insulin resistance, which leads to highs and lows, which isn't good. What else, guys? Number 4, just get up and move your body around every day. You don't have to necessarily do loads of, you know, running or anything excessive like that, or CrossFit, Insanity, P90X, things that could potentially dangerous. You just get up and go for a walk every single day. You know, walking and physical activity increases your insulin sensitivity, and that will help as well. I've forgotten what number I'm on now, guys. I think we're on number 5 now, guys. So use chronometer.com. So what is chronometer.com? Chronometer.com is a website where you can log all of your food, weigh it out in grams, and then log it on chronometer.com, and it will give you a full breakdown of your carbohydrates, fat, protein, etc. So you can get an idea of the exact amount of carbohydrates you're putting in your body, the exact amount of insulin, therefore, that you need. You can't be objective without numbers. You can't just guess, and you need to really look at the numbers and work out exactly what you put in your body, and use it to determine, you know, your macronutrient content. So basically, it'll tell you if you're getting 8% calories from carbs. So say if you're logging your food and each day it says only 60% of calories came from carbs, whereas, you know, about 25% came from fat, you know you've got a problem there and you need to address it. And number 6, guys, like I said, always have a positive mental attitude. You know, look at the world around us. You got people with heart disease, cancer. You got little children in Iraq being raped, skinned alive, beheaded. And I know that sounds like a really weird thing to say on YouTube to someone who's got diabetes, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to snap some of you who are really upset about this out of that, because you really need to, think my condition could be so much worse, and just be grateful that you're not in the situation that others have. It's always better to have an attitude of gratitude. It's always better to count your many blessings rather than just be down on life and focus on yourself and how bad your condition is. I don't mean to say that in a mean or nasty way. I'm just saying that to try and help you. You need to have a positive mental attitude, so you can move forward in a positive way to each day take different steps to improve your condition. What I would always say is always focus on marginal gains. The plant-based vegan diet will always benefit you greatly, but there are always little things you can do on top of that to improve your condition. And the other thing I would say, guys, is if you want to improve your condition, follow a lot of the different doctors that I recommend on all the time. So Dr. John McDougall, Dr. Neil Bernard, Dr. Garth Davis, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Culber Aston. Follow all these different doctors and listen to what they have to say about health. And another tip I'd give you guys is this: don't just focus upon diabetes. So I know that sounds like a strange thing to say, because if you've got type 1 diabetes and you don't have heart disease or cancer, you're going to think, well, why should I be concerned about those conditions? Well, you need to look at the vast spectrum of conditions that are out there that are affecting society today, because I notice a lot of people who are type 1, what they do is they get muddled up in their mind about what they should be doing, because they're so focused on it. So what happens is they end up eating these low carb diets which cause insulin resistance, which makes things worse, but which also cause heart disease, cancer, atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, irritable bowel syndrome, gout, you name it. It's undeniable. It's been shown by Dr. Campbell, Dr. Elston, various different studies. Actually causes the majority of type 2 diabetes, animal products, that is. And you want to really stay away from that. What you need to do is you need to sort of focus your mind and look at all these other conditions, because some people, they think, oh well, I've got diabetes, that's something to do with sugar, so I'm not going to eat any sugar, so that will improve it. But then they ignore heart disease and cancer and all the other conditions out there. But here's the thing: a plant-based vegan diet addresses all of those things in terms of it provides the greatest protection in terms of prevention, and it also in many cases helps reverses those conditions, with the exception of type 1, but it helps manage it. So guys, I hope that was kind of useful. Remember, never sort of get sad, just because you've got type 1 diabetes, it isn't the end of the world. You can have a long, happy, healthy life like the majority of people. Last time I saw my doctor, actually, he looked at my blood work, my glucose meter, and he said, and I know it sounds like I'm making this up, but he said I was probably one of the best diabetics he's ever seen, or the best actually. And why is that? It's because there's nothing special about me, but it's because of the diet that I eat and the attitude that I have. Everyone else can have them if they want it. And he said, you know, I would live just as long as any other person in society, or if not longer, because of the way that I'm eating. So don't allow yourself to get bogged down in that, guys. I hope this was kind of useful. Is anything that I missed out that you'd like me to cover? Just always put your comments and the questions below, guys. I'll always respond. I'm always happy for suggestions on what videos to do. You know, what videos, what topics do you want to see from me on diabetes, type 1 diabetes? You know, what issues do you want me to talk about? What issues do you want me to address? What things do you want me to clarify? Just let me know, engage with me, and I'll try and get that content out there for you. So remember, guys, if you're type 1 diabetic, you need to go vegan, whole food, plant-based vegan diet, high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based vegan. Will it maximize your insulin sensitivity more than any other diet? Will give you less lows, less highs, more even consistent blood sugars, a better HbA1c long term, and also reduces your chances of heart disease, cancer, atherosclerosis, dementia, you name it. So I hope that was useful, guys. Remember, check out those different doctors. I'll leave links in the description. Until next time, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now. Why do diabetics get low blood sugars in their sleep? So often on the internet, on Facebook or YouTube, wherever, I'll see different comments from people complaining about how they get low blood sugars. They had many problems at all. It's it's been fairly easy for me. Now then, I don't want to say that in a callous way, as if to say that as if to sort of disregard your struggles. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that, there's no chance of reversing it. It is the way it is. What I'd say is, don't get caught up in all of these sort of rumour mills or these news articles about supposed cures that are out there. You're wasting your time. What you need to do is struggling, and it really gets them down. And the thing I just want to sort of talk about today is that it doesn't have to be that way. Type 1 diabetes, yeah, you've got it the rest of your life. When you're diagnosed, you will have it the rest of your life. Hi guys, Chris here, back with another video. So today I want to talk about type 1 diabetes. So when I'm online, a lot of time I'll see different comments from people who are struggling, or people who have relatives who are struggling. You need to focus on you, what you can do. Now I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 2 years ago. Next month, actually. It's gone pretty quick. Time has flown by, and I have to be honest, I mean, I haven't really